Good morning. Good morning. I wanted to share. I put a post up this morning alluding to that I had a light bulb moment this morning, and I haven't been doing too many videos on Attracting Money 101 because Ron's choice and my choice for health are a little bit more of a priority for me right now. Those are a little bit further along. It's freaking neck. But one of the things I've been working on is uh, my my intuition. You know how you say go by your gut, go by your heart. You know your first instinct when something comes up. I, I've been observing that for years, right? Like for example, if you're at a stop sign and you don't know where to go and your choices are left or right, what you have something that tells you which way to go. You have to make a choice, right? And so I observe when I try to go with the first instinct, and then I observe later, because if you're not aware, if you don't observe and check the results, then you never know what to adjust. So it's not like I just took a mental note. It's not like I wrote stuff down to say, okay, this time it said go this way, I went this way, and it was right. I think for the most part it was like 50-50. And I was like, how do I get to where that intuition is stronger, that guidance, whether there's angels or whatever you want to call it. See, for those of you that have been following me, I try to stay in the middle. I'm not going to do seances. Uh, I don't believe that you need. I'm not going to say I don't believe in it. There's people that do tarot cards, psychic readings, and all that. If it helps, if you get results that you want more often than not, then whatever works for you. I don't think that's necessary. I think there's a small, very small percentage of psychics and people that do these things that actually have the results they want. Because what we tend to do is we focus on the positive, right? Stay positive. What worked this time? So in our minds, it's like, oh, it worked, it worked, it worked. But we're not looking at the actual failures because that's being negative. No, those are just being realistic and checking results. So the reason why I'm sharing this in here is because, like I said, I've been working on trying to be precognitive, my intuition, it just and things period in life. Whether it's relationships, why you pick someone, why you do something. Uh, so this in particular is I've been dabbling in the stock market, and I've learned over the years that to try to shorten the curve, I pay for information, training, teaching. Just like if you go to college, you have to pay for college. Yeah, you have to pay for things with your time or money. So you either spend time trying to learn it on your own, or money learning it. So I'm in this group now. To get to the next level of one-on-one training, it's like $6,500, or it's $100 a month to just get the information. So my idea was I'll join, and as I build my money, then I'd be glad to get some one-on-one to take the money further. So what this gentleman does is he tells you what he does. This is what I'm trading. This is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing it. Now, I'm not going to go into deep detail because it's options. It's selling options, puts and calls, and it gets a little confusing, and it has been confusing to me. But I don't have to understand it because he's telling me what to do. So if he's been doing it for 20 years and he has a good track record, and I'll just follow him. And I know there's risks, and then sometimes there's ups and downs. But so far, I started off good. My first week, was up, and then I've been down since then. And what it was is it's like the comparison I made is like there's a buffet. He has like a buffet. He says, "Here you go. These are all the trades I'm doing." Now, see, that's part of the trick with one of the strategies with the stock market is you have to diversify. Even if you just put your money in a 401k or an IRA and you're in the stock market, you have to be diversified because it does go up and down. It's been on an upward trajectory since the beginning. So it ultimately goes up, but it goes up and down. So you have to be in different markets. But I have a small account, so I could only do a couple of the trades. And it just so happened the ones that I decided to go with that he suggested were a bust. Now for him it's not that big of a deal because it was just only a couple of trades out of the 10 that he was doing. We'll just say 10. So I asked myself, why did I decide to get into those trades instead of the other ones? Part of it was timing because those were new ones that he was doing. I wanted to start in fresh. But why wasn't there something that said, no, now's not the time? Because I was like, it was like double dutch, the jump rope's going, and it was like now, and I said now, and then when I got on, it just kept going down and down. I was like, oh, it's gonna jump by, the market's crazy right now, and blah blah blah. And so I'm the type, I don't like to point fingers. I don't like to blame. I mean, he did pick it. You can't pick them all 100%. So straighten that out. Now I had a couple that were doing okay, but this one was dropping so much that it just the other two didn't save me. Got out of that one and get in another one. Complete bust. I'm a huge bust. So I'm like, why? I take responsibility. Why did I choose that one? I'm not going to blame him. I do because he's the master and he picked it, but I didn't have to get in that one, so I have to take the blame there. So last night, I'm listening to this book. I can't remember the name of the book, but the gentleman's name is Russell Targ. He taught remote viewing and precognition to the CIA and the 4 branches of government for over 20 years. And each year to renew his contract, he had to prove what he was doing was working. So in this book, he starts describing what to do. And it's nothing fancy. We all have it. We've all experienced it, right? Intuition, certain things, happen. And we say, I knew that was going to happen. Or something told me. And I'm just trying to figure out how can I tap into that a little bit better. So last night, I can't remember what I told myself before I went to bed. And I'm trying to think, well, what did I tell myself tonight? Because I've tried to do the lucid dreaming thing and just, let things come to me. But I guess I didn't have anything targeted. So I wanted more clarity. And specifically on these stocks. So this morning, I don't recall dreaming all night. I'm sure I did, but I was pretty much in a deep sleep, which I haven't done for a while, which was good. So I woke up at 5 o'clock to go to the bathroom, which my alarm was set to go off at 5:15. Normally, right before I wake up, I have my dreams because that's your REM, rapid eye movement. That's when you're not in a deep sleep. That's when you're either going down. You have, just real quick, from what I've learned about sleep, because I've studied on it, because I've had issues, you have a 90-minute sleep cycle. Your REM, and then you go down into a deep sleep, and then you come back out and back into REM. And REM is where you're dreaming. That's when you're almost awake, and you do that every 90 minutes. You go back down. That's just what they say. I'm sure everybody's a little bit different, but I know for me, dreaming usually, if like say if you have to use the bathroom, you're dreaming about using the bathroom. I used to do it when I was a kid. I would dream I was peeing in the shower, wake up, and I peed in the bed till I was 13. Not every night, but off and on. And it will, sometimes you'll hear a conversation or you hear a noise or you hear the phone ring and you say, oh man, I was just dreaming about that. Well, that's because you were almost in an awake state. So anyway, so this morning I'm in my awakening state, and the dream I was having, I'm not going to go into detail. I can't fully remember it, but I was talking about things that I was good at and things I weren't. And it had something to do with like a job fair. There was somebody else involved. But this deal with selling the options, I haven't delved really deep into the studies of it because I'm the kind of the person that, give me a little bit of information and then let me do it. So I understand the calls and the puts. I didn't quite understand selling, but it friggin' light went off this morning on how selling the puts and buying a long put protection, how the two make sense. And because I was thinking that the market needed to go down for my weeklies to go up, but it's the opposite. It's like flip-flopped, and now it's like, man, that seems so basic. It seems so elementary. And I'm sure that it does to the people that are doing it, because when I ask questions in the forum, these guys are, oh, well, you got to look at the delta and the digital. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is way too much. Even though the guy advertises the program as something very simple for beginners, for a small account that you can build it up every week. And you got sleep at night protection. You got a protection so you don't have to worry about losing your money. And he makes it sound great, which everybody does, but he does. It's not like his advertising is just him in front of a whiteboard and his T-shirt. He seems like a very plain guy, and I trust him. I trust the process. I understand that the market's been kind of crazy, and it makes sense. But the other thing, the thing I learned yesterday was, sometimes I put a little bit too much faith in other people. That, yeah, learn their process, but I can do it just as good as you can. Right? If I learn it, depending on, I'm not talking about brain surgery, but I'm like, okay, so let me learn from you, and maybe I can do this as good, if not better than you. Because it all comes from here, right? I don't know where his mindset is. See, he's been doing it for 20 years. So he's got a lot of experience, but the market changes. We've had COVID, we've got, things change. He even brought up, Robinhood, the account Robinhood, that, we have a lot of young people and a lot of people, because of the market went down and then because it was shooting up, a lot of people are investing. So that's changing the market. That's changing the dynamics of how things are working. So he might have old school thinking. Me being new into the market and seeing what's going on, and I'm working with my son as well, so my son has a different perspective on what's going on in the world, how things are going to work. So some of it is predicting. This method that what I'm actually using is supposed to work in an up and down market, but obviously it's not fail safe. You have to have a better idea. But anyway, it was just really cool this morning that I had that light bulb moment, and I'm like, damn it, now that makes sense. And it wasn't from sitting there studying. I told my consciousness I want an answer. I want some clarity, and it gave it to me this morning. So that was pretty cool. It was pretty awesome. So I am putting together, I don't know how much I'm going to share it, because I can't share other people's stuff, but if you're looking to get into the stock market, I don't know what I'm going to do with that going forward. like I said, the other two websites are my main focus right now. But yeah, it's cool. Birds are chirping today. Today's good. I gotta go make a phone call.